protection uptime. So whenever we're fighting Scourge heavy comps, this is just anti-Scourge. This is crazy. So anyways, that's what this is gonna bring. We're using Mace Shield. Let's look at the weapons real quick, briefly. Now we're changing our sigils a little bit. Mace Shield's gonna have transference and concentration. Staff is gonna have concentration and transference. If you are a newer firebrand, like for example, if you've caught yourself slow, like I would slot an energy sigil. I would change out probably the transference sigil on Mace for an energy, because you want the concentration ones and you want the benevolence.
We don't have a transference on Mace.
Yeah, it's benevolent.
Oh wait, is it? Oh wait, what'd you guys change it to? Oh wait, it's on staff. Right. I have it all fucked up still. Here,
yeah,
sorry.
so if you need energy, change out transference on your staff.
Yeah, change the transference on staff. You're gonna want to bring benevolence on your mace, and then concentration, right, on your shield and then off. Yeah, exactly.
But I want to be
It's the same thing. Benny, yeah, exactly. Sorry. Look, I just looked at that.
If you guys have any questions on each stream to just slow down, just yell.
Say it, please, something. I move fast.
Oh.
Yes.
But he wants to get through the basics of it so then he can go through the details.
And that's the shit's the same. Everything is the same. Okay, so basically you should, does anyone have a question here? I need you guys to be vocal because I don't want to keep repeating myself. Do you guys have questions on Hallowed? I want to know what you guys need to work on, because I have some things we're going to work on, but if you guys have any questions, I want you to knock them out about anything right now. Please ask before we continue.
So if we needed more cleanses, would we swap out Hallowed for the other?
If you feel like cleanses are a problem, you swap Hallowed for Lore Mantra, yes.
Okay.
Lore Mantra is Mantra of Lore, linked in the chat. Any other question? Something about like skill usage?
Why 5 pages over 7?
Why 5 pages over 8?
Or 8, yeah, sorry.
Only because we started arguing that book 2 really doesn't need that much waters because you're really just sitting in downtime. Also, we started to debate whether we had a big question whether heals are more important than actual mitigating damage, because we did the numbers. From what I've heard, is the difference between protection is the difference between survivability of a berserker, like a guy in a berserker gear, to minstrel gear. That's the survivability. It's pretty much, it's massive. Or maybe marauder berserker mix, which is a lot, So we started noticing people were dying. So 5 pages only works good for book 3, but for book 1 you don't really need it. For book 3 you don't really need it. Since you can apply now more protection with your mantra than ever before, we swapped to weighty terms, because that is just OP now, because you're applying so much mitigation, right? Because that's basically what Firebrand is all about. It doesn't really have that
comes back really fast.
Another reason why we're getting rid of the pages on, like, we're switching skill 1 up to the middle, is because that's where we're getting our quickness now. Because we're not getting quickness from Aegis, we're only getting it from Stab with that other trait. And if we're switching out for weighty terms, then we still need quickness.
Got you. Okay, got it.
Exactly, that's that trade-off. So it's like we're arguing is quickness is more important, and we're kind of debating we don't really need 3 more pages from book 3. Now, if we're fighting heavy outnumbered, probably we may switch it back, because that extra support from book 3 is nice. You know what I mean? But other than that, I think we keep it.
Got it.
Also, I've reviewed this build with a couple other people, and this is pretty strong right now. This is pretty good. Like, it's been strong. So I think this is the way with Aegis nerf. Any other questions about build or anything? You guys know your book pages 5-4 is your prio. You guys know how to press that. I've reviewed that so many times. Does anyone that doesn't know that? Anyone doesn't know your book rotation? Please say right now.
Can you go over it just for?
Okay, I'll go over real quick. Yeah. We can. Book 3, you really open up. Stand your ground. Book 3 on engage. Whenever you're close, you want to start booning up. So what you do, you press stand your ground, and now as soon as you press stand your ground, you're going to want to press your protection.
Does everyone know where their protection comes from?
6. Right.
Yes. And do you guys know why we want protection from
So
your
say
stab?
right here, purple circle.
You lagged out, Shrimp.
I lagged out. Fuck. Okay, so you put protection in front of your stab so it gets ripped first, because you can
Yes.
constantly reapply it. Because there's a boon order. The boon order of what gets ripped first is what boon is first on your bar, right above your heal skill. Now, what puts that there is whatever boon was most recently applied. So, for example, if I apply stab and then apply protection or like might or something, might will go, and then the protection will go, and then stab will be there because stab was applied like first, or in the sense like the least recent. The most recent boon is up there. Now, if you have that boon up and you reapply it, it does not make a new stack. It just goes there. Keep that in mind. Anyways, let's do a quick little rotation, stab rotation right here. I'm gonna do it once and once only because I want to hit this maze because this is cool. So, let's say we're stacked right here all the way in the back. Oh, I hit exit. Fuck. I thought that was an interact. Fuck. Yeah, that is an interact. What the fuck? How did I hit it? Just walk around. Come here, stack here. Stack here, stack here. That is an interact. So let's say there's a Zerg over there. If you look at your map, like heart right there, we're gonna hit them, right? So we stack in power. Pretend we have stealth goes on, so we drop gyros in 3, 2, 1. What we do? Hold it, staff 2, blast right there for the blast, because that's your blast skill. Now we walk up. We'd probably be stealth right about here. I would prop stand your ground and then protection, and then I would be in mace shield, popping Aegis, whatever I have. And now if it starts getting heavier, getting bombed, immediately into book 3. And then I'd pop a 5 and a 4 or a 4 and a 5 immediately. If we're getting bombed and it's CC heavy, 4 because that is a break stun, AoE break stun, you're going to break stun everybody, especially if we're in the melee. You're going to break stun all your 5 people in your... Actually, it's not even... I don't know if it's 5 people. It doesn't have a target cap, so I don't know if it's an AoE break stun or not. But, well, that's something I have to test later. But then 5, so you have unbroken lines, you have Aegis protection, reapply to stab, and you get 200 toughness. It says 300 here. This is PvE stats. World v World stats are different. That's that. So now back to this fight scenario. So we're right here in the middle. Let's say we're rolling through here, creating space. I'll put a reflect dome in this so we make pressure if they're ranging us with their heralds. Nice. And I'll probably pop another 5, keep the protection up, and they're bombing us again here. Pop a 4, and now you're probably going to be out of book. Now you're in mace shield again. You'll be in mace shield, use your weapon skills, pop your 5. Now, let's say we're going for another push. You have stand your ground ready again. You usually should. And then, or if you don't have stand your ground ready, what you do is you pop either hallowed or mantra. Yeah, usually hollowed, and then start using, at this point, you start using your mantras. Your mantras, now you use them as like fill-ins. So like as you have little gaps throughout this period, or as you see people are getting need break stuns, you could pop a mantra if you don't have your book 4, because that is a group break stun. Stand your ground is not a group break stun, it's a personal break stun. Mantra liberation is a break stun to allies. Any questions so far? That's book 3 rotation right there.
So in terms of
5-4 is kind of what you want to like play off. Go ahead, Banana, sorry.
for your mantra liberation, do you want to keep that on like 2 charges most of the time, just so that it's always recharging?
Yeah, almost
something?
all your mantras you're gonna want to have active because you're using are on recharge, because you have weighty terms. The longer your mantra is off recharge, is the less mantras you get in an actual fight, because it's not always recharging. So there's a downtime of like how fast you get it back up. You know what I mean? So for example, me versus if Ryan left his mantra charging for like not charging for 5 seconds, it was full stacks, and I never left mine, I would get my mantras back, one mantra stack back 5 seconds faster than him every time.
Yep, and then on top of that, Shrimp would have boons on him at all times. Ryan would.
Because I would get my stuff back faster because I'm using it, right? All right, moving on. Book 2, pretty simple. 5-4, hit 5 AoE heal buff. Hit 4 AoE water field. Number 2 is a cleanse and a heal when you have condies on you. It's not that much. It's only 1 condi condition in World v World. PvE stats. Keep that in mind. That's basically what you want to cycle. If you feel like we're at heavy melee, we need vigor for extra dodge rolls, you can drop a number 3 at discretion. If you think things are getting too hot,
He's lagging out. He's lagging out.
thought that was his version of saying, like, if it gets too hot, walk away. Like, nice.
Get out.
No, I was saying if you think it's getting too hot and you can't wait for another 4 and 5, like there's just too much damage, you're gonna die before people are gonna die around you, or you're gonna die before that happens, then you can pop a 1. But other than that, I would almost never touch never touch 1 unless it's literally that, because it would suck if you died because you didn't press buttons. That's like the worst, like because then you just didn't like. Because then if you weren't able to use your buttons in a fight, then you just lost all that. You know what I mean? Like, if you die, you press everything, at least you contributed all you have. You know what I mean? You died. But, like, if you, like, it's rather, like, you don't lose that much in a fight. Anyways, moving on. Book 1, pretty simple. 5 if you want an AoE damage buff. 3 for a pull. 3 is very nice. Anyways, that's a little quick rotation on stab. Is that, any questions? Does any of that, like, any of that, like, not make any sense, like, flew over your head? Just be honest, because a lot of this shit flies over people's heads. And, like, to be honest, it's good for me to know that, so then I can go over it to you again.
And if you guys got questions, I'm walking through the skills in the video, too. I'm trying to keep up the stream. But on one, he's talking about book 3. My book 3 is on recharge. So I was trying to show the skills, but...
You can also, Brandon, you could also like talk to like if you want to mute yourself, and then you can always edit like my audio out, and you can talk over it to like certain skills if you want to make it make more sense than anything I missed. Anyways, let's hit this. Sig. I want to talk about Sig before, because we need to use Sigs. So let's try to have like some side of order. Ryan, probably Commander's Firebrand. I'm gonna put Commander line at first Sig, and since Commander's line is usually at the very top, that is gonna be your Sig order. You got it? Does that make sense?
Yep.
As a Firebrand player, because every sub party has a number, and that's gonna be Sig order. So what's gonna happen is Firebrands are gonna have to at least be somewhat vocal if you can, but not too vocal. I know some people are like kind of scared of that, but you don't have to. It doesn't take much, at least for Sig, because what's gonna happen is so for example, if Ryan is Sig number 1, he's in Commander's line, and like if I'm calling a Sig because that's not getting dropped, even though you should be dropping it at discretion. I shouldn't have to call Sig, by the way. He's gonna drop. He's expected to drop the first Sig. If he says can't Sig, interrupted, number 2, go. If it's savable. If he's too low HP, cancel it. And everyone remember, escape cancels 6. Your escape bar. So if you have that, like, if you're fast with it, you can cancel.
You don't want to do party priority?
Nah. Because that's too complicated. Because think about it, then people are gonna have to just be looking at their party bar, even though they should be looking at their party bar. But then they're like, oh, if you see someone down in a fight, and you expect someone to Sig them, that's like a definite order, like Sig 1, Sig 2, Sig 3, Sig 4, Sig 5, like just like bubbles. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I feel like that takes less, or does that take more? What do you think?
I don't know.
It's harder. That method will not let the party line advantage is you'll see them or health going down, and you'll be able to preemptively Sig them.
Okay. So that way,
I'm always paying attention to everyone's health bars. Yeah. So in your own party, I'm paying attention.
You guys don't have full squad HP bars on, huh? I have full squad HP bars.
I have full squad HP bars on, but
so I just see it.
But like using the party view, you'll see them going down.
Okay, yeah. And revision to that, we do party. Let's try party view then. Let's just try party. I mean, Sig 1 is but if that fails, we could always change it. But I think that's valid, because I do look at my party bar, and I notice when people's HP bars go down, I start getting ready to Sig them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think communication just fixes it too. So like party priority, like if my scrapper goes out and you notice it too, I'll say that I'm sigging.
Yeah.
Right. If someone calls out that they're already sigging, then of course cancel your sig.
Exactly. Like for example, I know some of the times, like when say Shroom goes down, Ryan starts sigging him, and I'll start sigging him right behind him. But if Ryan's still going off, I'll cancel mine.
What were you saying, Aura?
I was just gonna ask about is like IOL priority? Like
Oh,
what-
yes.
I feel like IOLs always go out first, even when there's only like one person down.
Yeah, it is faster.
Okay, so I'm gonna change that. I think I want to use my IOL like more group oriented. So I think if one person is down, if it's individuals, then SIGs. If it's an individual, but if it's like 3 people, I will call IOL. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Shroom and I always call it our but we generally are the first ones to use it, so maybe SIGs are probably better when it's not. I pretty much only my IOL usually goes off when we get hit hard and like multiple people are down. That's when I use mine. Otherwise, the SIGs get the single people, like Aura's saying.
All right, this isn't fully complete yet, tragically, but I think you can still it can still be effective with only using one mantra. This is like a little dodge roll with positioning simulator, and if you're a firebrand with like one stab, you should be able to make it. So this is where you start. So what you gotta do is you gotta press one mantra and then roll through this off to the left. Now come here, and then you kind of have to come to the right and just mantra yourself. If you want to cut in, you can start just stabbing yourself with mantra and cut in and use your dodge rolls. That's the safe way is walking all the way around. What you want to be able to do though is you want to go like this. Roll, roll.
Okay, it does actually suck you in. I was wondering if they work. I was waiting for the stab to go off.
Same, yeah. But we had so many from everyone doing
I
it that I
know.
couldn't tell.
So the point of this is to go one at a time. So I want to at least get like 2 rounds in. That would be sick. We can let go one at a time and like test it. So like with a 2-second interval between each person, so it's quick. And it's pretty short. So all you do is just go around there, and then there's one more corner. I think I'm not sure if I think I put a trap there at that corner. But this is like the big. It's incomplete, but I'm working on it, dude. This takes so much time. I've been busy. So I'll go first, and then actually. Yeah.
I feel like this firebrand getting pulled.
I was just seeing if that one actually worked.
I'm gonna put everyone into their own subgroup, and that's gonna be your order, okay? With me going first.
So I'm in party view.
Just go to squad view. Shaking's fishing, so he can.
Hell yeah, brother.
You can just like expand your UI or just like check what number you are, okay? All right, you guys, everyone understand where they're going? When they're going?
Maybe. Or.
All right, I'm 1, Ryan's 2, Hermit's 3, Aura's 4, Banana's 5, Brandon's 6, Max is 7, Vanda's 8, Gloss is 9. Got it?
And what do you
And
want
wait
them to
2
do?
seconds.
You want them to blow everything? And no.
No, all you're gonna do is mantra. You're gonna do that same thing with only using your mantra.
Okay.
Because this is too. You stand your ground. Is
On
you're gonna
dodge
be able
roll
to
or
walk
no?
every- Dodge roll. You gotta dodge roll. You're not gonna make this with one mantra stack. You have to dodge roll. This is a movement training, sort of, with teaching you kind of like using your mantra and stab. All right, I'm gonna go right now. 3, 2, 1. I'm going. So you gotta roll, mantra, walk across this. All right, next person. All right, next person. Yeah, you guys got it. You guys got it. It should be pretty simple, to be honest. It's not that hard. I mean, sometimes you might get interrupted if you're not quick with it. But I have to work on
No,
it
you
more.
shouldn't get interrupted at all. It's how he has it right now. It's really easy and it's not overlapped, so you shouldn't get interrupted at all.
And a few of them you can walk around if you need to.
If you need to, there's the one in the middle you could walk around, and the one at the end.
Well, everyone should be walking right through it. You're a firebrand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try
yeah,
walking
you
right
could
through
be
it.
Walking right through it. Because that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what you're gonna do as a firebrand usually. Now, if it's too fucking hot, and I'll try to add more damage, but I can't get like a bunch of traps in one little spot, so I have to figure it out. I think if
Dude,
we
I
get
don't
like,
even think. Yeah, you don't even have to dodge roll through that.
There, I just
this
demonstrated it for the video.
It does. The middle ones use up your stab. I don't think this one does.
It does. It just used mine.
You're not getting in.
Yep.
They all, yeah, they
Oh,
do.
yes, it does. Okay.
Yep, it does. You gotta dodge roll halfway through it.
I just
Or
walked through the whole
dodge roll
thing.
first.
I
and
gotta
then
put
pop
another
stab.
one there, but it's a little just a little tester. I put 2
Yeah.
damage there, but I think I'm gonna put 1 more thumper turret. So yeah, but that's kind of like that. And then like for example, and come to the big melee ball section. Come to the big melee ball section. I'm gonna talk about this real quick. So just stick on the outside right here. So pretend this is like a big ass melee ball, right? And like there's like a Zerg we're gonna work right here in the fucking middle of it, right? And we're gonna go around here like this counterclockwise direction. So where would you put? This is why I love Hallowed. This is why I love Hallowed. Where would you put your Hallowed? I would put my Hallowed like right around here maybe, or maybe right there on like purple circle, or maybe even a little closer. So when we skirt around on this outside, we're all just chilling in the Hallowed and dropping damage in the middle with wins and interrupts and CCs, and then we could cut through right here if we need to with our stab and pressure right here and work this even though they're just constantly interrupting us. You see what I mean? Like, that's good Hallowed placement. Like, imagine like as if this is a toilet bowl scenario, you know what I mean? When we're toilet bowling, because that's like where I find it so good to use Hallowed. And I might cut this little wall out here so we can literally be a little more open, but then you can just like roll across, got like the
So
wall.
I got a question.
What's up?
Because, you know, back in the day we were rolling hollowed, but we kind of realized that we weren't getting a lot of utility out of it because we were so mobile and often open field. Do you think it maybe is worth like rocking 2 templates that's more of an open field with the clearance mantra, and then having a handy template for more like choky type fights, you know?
I mean,
In
yeah, you
theory-
can template both because we make because Hollowed is like a swap right now. Like it's gonna be the same build, but it's like you could have a if you want to just template that like back to lore. You know what I mean? Because we're still gonna be probably. Yeah. That's like
I
in
might
some
do that.
situations we may use that. So like if
might-
it's like not enough cleanses, like not
Well,
enough
it's
stab,
it's
like
not.
cleanses.
We do change 1 trait on the build. If you drop Hollow, you change 1 trait.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why
yeah,
I
yeah,
would use
Yeah,
a
I was just
template
about to
so I
explain that
could
real
do it
quick for
super
the video.
fast.
So
Yeah. The
if
one
you guys
trait we
open up
tolerate-
your
this
guys'
is-
hero
yeah.
page, you have Hollowed Ground, you're running Hollowed Ground. On Virtues, we run Master of Concentration so it recharges faster. And then if you're switching to the lore mantra, and I have another template, you can see more launcher there, and then in Virtues, we switch that to Resolute Subconscious.
Gotcha.
It's up 1.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I'd rock 2 separate templates. They would be almost identical except for those few things, but I would still rather do that than, you know, we're in between fights and I have to go.
Yeah,
and,
rock it. Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Do
know,
what works
switch
for you.
things
Yeah,
around on the
exactly.
fly.
Yeah, definitely. Like
There's-
for me, it's like muscle memory. Like I mean, I know this because I've played Guardian for so long. But like for like if you need the template, then take the template. Yo, I mean that's what it's there for, right? If you're not using it.
You have to buy another one then.
Well, I mean, I only have one. I have a DH and a 2 firebrand builds. Actually, yeah, you're right.
And what Aura said too, you can't change your template in stealth. You'll get knocked out of stealth.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You'd have to do it like long before you.
Yeah, it'd be out of combat.
Anything I
if
missed?
if you know you're going to defend heals and they're on the Lord, that's when you switch the template long before you get there, you know, that sort of thing.
But
Like,
we're gonna
you
try
know-
running Hallowed more than lore for now, because the point of it though is because we're trying to do this comp change, where we're thinking about having like swapping to like more protection and like and over heals, and I think stacking on the boons right now with that's I don't know, Hallowed gives a lot of stab, you know what I mean? If we could like change our playstyle a little bit and try to get more use out of it, that would be pretty strong.
Oh yeah, and the biggest.
We
thing
just don't
why
want to
we
eat a
like-
bomb.
Yeah, the biggest thing
We
why
just
we
don't
like
want to eat a
Hollowed
bomb, yeah, exactly.
is because we're a melee guild anyway. So you pop that run on them, and we're standing in the Hollowed Ground.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Also, yeah, Van made a comment line of warding on enemies is strong. I feel like Firebrand takes more than an hour, but like, I don't want to like.
Well, we went through the basics really fast. Like,
We did.
for example, does
We can
anyone
go-
have any questions on rotation? Any rotation, like
we can
book
go through that
rotation,
again.
Yeah,
a
we can,
weapon
we can take a minute
rotation,
and re-rotate.
your
go through it
mantra
again.
rotation.
Did you guys?
When-
Are you guys recording this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could also post it for anybody.
Does anyone have any questions on when they should be using what book?
That is
Ask the
actually good.
question
That's
too
a
for the
good-
recording, so like we can give an in-depth analysis of that, because other people may also have that question too. You never know.
I guess when do you use book 2?
So yeah, that is a good question.
That's a perfect question. Thank
Yeah.
you. When do you use book 2? So usually you would start out open with book 3, but there's some exceptions to this because Firebrand takes it's one of those classes where there isn't necessarily a set rotation. Like there's a sort of rotation, there's like guidelines you follow, but you know, since the dynamics of the fight always change, it's like not set guidelines. So for example, book 2 specifically, book 2 generally you'd want to open it in like after you're on your second push, because usually you would already have used book 3. You know what I mean? Because if it's like that's where their biggest bomb is, and they dropped all their stuff on the first bomb, then that's when you're gonna want to open book 3. But like, you know what I mean? And the second push on the second engage, once we sustained that and pulled off, got our kills, go next push is probably like a hallowed comboed with book 2, and that usually works pretty strong, and filled in with mantras, or if you have stab, just mantras, yeah. But also in other situations, where would you want to use a bubble 2 over a book 3? I would go bubble over when, for example, we get portal bombed or we get winds bombed, like stealth bombed. Sometimes I would just go book 2 into winds, and then if we're like sitting in there for a second, like if we're moving too slow, I would book 2 waters, and maybe instead of just opening book 2, just pop a 5 and maybe roll out. Or if you have that time, but if you don't have that time, I would just roll out and then like book 2 or waters. That's when I would do it. Like if we're getting like winds chained, because if we're getting winds chained, there's no point of opening a book 3 in the winds, because you're not giving the protection, you're not giving the resolution and aegis that it brings. So like, and you can't apply boons in a winds. You know what I mean? Like the only thing you can do when you're in a winds is break stun and heal. So like, you know what I mean? And you don't need a book 3 for a break stun, because you have your mantra, and you have, since the mantra reduce recharge, you should be able to use that more discreetly. Just make sure you never are out of mantras. You don't really want to be out of mantras, because then you have nothing. Especially like sometimes it's gonna happen. There's gonna be gaps. Don't worry. But like, that's another thing. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
So you're basically generally going to want to use it on the second push. Also, another thing, if you notice that we're getting heavy Condi pressured, like for example, we're taking a bomb and it's like we have stab, and it's just a lot of Condis, and we just need that cleanse because either we're not getting cleanses from scrappers or we're lacking scrappers, whatever reason. You could also use book 2 then, and then go into book 3, and then by the time you finish your book 3 on the next push, since book 2 is only a 42 second or 40-ish second recharge, you get your book 2 back again for the next push.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Is that Ryan Sao Fang?
Yeah. Water.
Yeah, like what
water
he just said,
blasting.
with all the other practice sessions you're doing with everybody else, that's something important to let them know about. The reason why all your guards are being vocal about that, or saying that, it's not just for the commander, it's for anybody who happens to have a blast handy, you know, because usually the guardians are not going to be having a blast handy during that phase. So
because they're in book, they don't have a blast. Exactly.
Exactly. So
Yeah, all of your spell breakers will be blasting
So
that.
be sure to bring that up with all the other classes to let them know. If you ever hear a guardian say Waterfield, that's for you.
Yeah, especially if you're like a minstrel bubble, or not a minstrel, just a bubble. If you're a damage, I mean, if usually you pop, if you have like your blast skills are probably damage. I mean, depends. Like a dragon hunter, I wouldn't blast the waters, but like a rev 5, if you have nothing else to spend it on, or whatever. But usually you could use that for CC as well. But I mean, if they're moving, you're probably not gonna hit it that well. So
Yeah, Rev 5
yeah.
is CC or Stealth Blast.
Yeah,
But you
it's
can use
usually-
it for the water field.
I mean, if you have
I've always
nothing better
wanted
to
to-
do for-
I've always wanted to test boons and wins. Do you guys want to try something real quick? If you put everyone in the same line, don't boon yourself, and then we put the wins on, and everyone try to blast every boon you have. I want to
It
see
didn't
if
work. It
anybody.
wouldn't work.
I want to see if anyone can get anything through. Let's try it. I've never done this test before. We've never had enough people to try it.
All right, shaking, swapping. I assume.
I have it. I'm right on you.
Oh, okay, let's do it. Everyone stack. Everyone stack. Let's do
But
it.
put everyone in the same line, and,
Yeah,
and
everyone's got to be in the same line.
What are you saying?
We're all gonna just like sit in the winds without any boons up or anything.
and then try to put boons up.
Oh, okay.
I want to see if it
got it.
target caps or if there are specific boons it prioritizes or if
Let's
there's a time
move.
factor.
Let's move over here. Move
Let's
over
get
here.
outta
Yeah, move over. Just right here. We can all just sit still. It doesn't. We don't need.
Yeah,
to.
yeah, you don't have to go anywhere.
All right, you ready?
No,
Drop
wait
your
for the
wins.
boons
I
to go
just-
away.
Yeah, yeah. Wait for the boons to go away. Everyone's boons gone. Yeah, almost.
So you guys can sit in party view, and so you can see each other's boons.
Let me do that. Okay. Someone has resolution.
Sorry.
5 seconds.
Trying to. Wait, let me just knock like your Dura runes.
Let me just proc all your Dura runes real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna drop it right now. All right, boon yourself. Boons.
No. That doesn't work, bro.
It's pretty OP, huh?
Yeah. That's why you don't open book 3 into wins.
Yeah.
All right. I think
Wait,
we've gone
isn't
over.
Isn't that skill 10 target in PvE?
But it doesn't matter.
Oh fuck, you're right.
But the application of it not allowing to apply boons
Oh wait, we're in
is
combat.
infinite
We're in
targets.
combat. Even still though, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
same
sure.
application.
Because every time I'm gonna tell you this right now,
Only
because
the
every
boon
time
strips
I'm
is
in a
target
wins,
caps.
every time I'm in a wins, I can never apply boons. And if it's only 5 target in World v World, what are the chances that every time I'm getting hit by that wins if we're in a 50-man group, 40-man group?
I mean,
ratio,
first science. It's not a bad.
Yeah, I
test.
usually try and jump out and then reapply. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It hits
Oh yeah,
everyone.
she's right. It is 10 in PvE. I forgot.
But it still hits everyone in World v World.
Stop auto attacking.
All right, let's comp up. I think we've gone over. I'm gonna go swap my gear.
What was the gear stats for Firebrand? I'm
Same as Scrapper, it's Minstrel.
Minstrels. Okay.
Yeah, Minstrels is pretty strong. Best healing.
I'll have to put a minstrel set in this guy.
Best boon